can I do if my kids hate spending time with their father? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder of Farias Family Law, and this question came up a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, it actually comes up often, and I'm going to give you a guide for how to think about this issue and how to tackle it. So first, it's important to understand that putting aside court orders, divorces, splits, that generally it's in a child's best interest to have a healthy relationship with both parents. And so the important thing to do here is to make an effort to repair the relationship. And I understand that sometimes that's not possible. But the first line of attack is to ask, what is going on here? What is causing this disconnect? And what can be done to address it? Sometimes it's as simple as sitting down and talking to the child and to the other parent. Sometimes the issues are deeper, and that requires some degree of professional help. And for that, you can have individual counseling for the child and or the parent, and some family counseling to really process the issues and get to the root of what's happening and to help fix it. So always think first, what can I do to fix this? Now, if the answer is nothing, because sometimes that's the case, sometimes the trauma is so deep, or sometimes it's the parent who has serious issues that the parent is not addressing, and therefore it interferes with building a relationship with the child. If the answer is that you cannot fix it, or that everyone is not committed to making an effort to fix it, then you have to ask, what are the next steps? And it's broken down into a couple of categories. So first, we'll talk about if you have an older child. So if your child is about 13, 14 and older, and the child is refusing to spend time with the other parent, it's important to understand that generally the courts are going to stay away from ordering the child to spend time with that parent against his or her will. So basically, the court is not going to force an older child to spend time with the parent. And so that's something to keep in mind if you are figuring out what the parenting plan should look like for purposes of getting it into a court order, or if you already have a court order and built into that court order is parenting time with the other parent and the child doesn't want to go there. You have to understand that it's unlikely that a court is going to force that. And so in other words, if it's in an order and the child is just simply refusing, and the parent who's not getting the parenting time files a contempt, there is a decent chance that the court is not going to find the primary parent in contempt, so long as that parent is not actively trying to alienate the other parent. So in other words, if the primary parent is actually doing things that are hurting the relationship between the child and the other parent, then that's going to be a problem. But if the child just simply doesn't want to go, then it's unlikely that the court is going to find a violation of the court order. And in some cases, you may want to modify the order to avoid any issues, to avoid any miscommunication. So that's something you should talk to an attorney about. But generally, if the child is older and doesn't want to spend time with the parent, the court is not going to force the child into that relationship and into that arrangement. Now, if it's a younger child and the child doesn't want to spend time with the parent, it's important for you to understand that the court is going to make every effort and essentially force the primary care parent to make every effort to facilitate the parenting time and to make it happen, including participating in therapy. So obviously we have to put aside any issues and talking about this issue in general. We have to put aside any issues of safety. If there are safety issues, if there are legitimate safety issues, then that's something you should talk to an attorney about, and it may be that you need to file a motion to get the issue in front of the court sooner rather than later. But putting that aside, if there are no safety concerns, then that's the best way to think of it, is if you have a child that's older, about 14 or older, the court's not going to force that child into a relationship. If the child is younger, then be prepared for the court to order you to make any and all efforts to make this parenting time work. Terminating the parent-child relationship and not having parenting time is really the last resort. So that's how these issues are handled. If you have any questions about this, you can call us 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, you can share it with anyone you think might benefit from it. And you can also find us on social media at Farias Family Law. Thank you. Have a good day.